Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh and I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to pull the parts truck up into position to disassemble. She doesn't give up easily on life, so let's get started.
Okay, it's going to be a few minutes before we can get this thing started. I did pump a lot of the fuel out of here in preparation for taking this truck apart, but I think I have enough fuel to move it about 100 yards or so, hopefully. Okay, we'll see if she starts now. There we go, she's started. Let's build some air and then we'll get this truck moved into the position. So it's kind of crazy to think that this is the last time that this semi-truck will be moving on its own power, because I'm going to start cannibalizing parts for it. So yeah, kind of a bummer, but we're going to get one good working truck out of the whole thing. So in the end, I think it'll all work out. So I think we almost have air pressure. We'll get this thing moving. Looks like these brakes aren't releasing on this axle, and this one doesn't have enough power. There's a problem with the power divider in here, so it's, yeah, giving me grief. Okay, so what's going on here is that I don't think one of my parking brake cans is releasing quite right. Hoping now that I have more pressure I can get it to work. But this truck also has a problem with the mid-axle, where I have to have the power divider in and basically use the rear axle for power. So yeah, she's giving me a little bit of grief. Let's see if it works now. So our donor truck isn't giving up on life very easily. We got her started and I can get her to move a little bit. She's out from underneath the trailer, but here she sits. So let me show you what's happened. So this axle has parking brakes. This axle does not. It looks like this side of the parking brake system, this axle isn't releasing, or at least this side. So I'm going to cage the brakes here, and caging them means you stick this bolt down into the brake can and then tighten it up, and that releases the parking brake pretty much manually. So only to be used for service and emergencies, not for if your brakes don't work or whatever. So yeah, we just need to cage this parking brake can, and hopefully that fixes everything. A little backstory on this truck: it has a problem with this axle where this one, there's something wrong in the diff where it's not working. So you have to have the power divider in, which basically means that if this axle's spinning at a certain rate, this one is too, and that allows this axle to try to move the truck. If this axle was working like it should, it would overcome that parking brake no problem. So yep. So let's get this thing caged. So it's pretty simple. You get this little dust cap off. Most of the times they're just hanging there loose anyway. This one is fossilized and old. Okay, that's not ideal to have that fall in there, but I don't think I'm going to be reusing this can on the other truck, so let's get her caged. So you have to push it down into the groove, twist it so that it locks in. Then you just use this nut to tighten her up. So you just go until this thing bottoms out and stops. Now my problem might also not be in this brake chamber. It could be that the pads are stuck to the drum with the brakes. So if this doesn't solve my problem, I have to start hitting on that with a hammer now that the brakes are released. So grass is incredibly slippery, especially to old, bald semi-truck tires. So I went and scraped up as much as I can. I tried to kind of kick some of the rocks into the tire track area and give myself some better traction. So let's see if that works. Okay, let's get her started back up. Well, that didn't work. I'll have to see if I can get that brake drum freed up or see what's going on there. But it's supper time now, so this might be tomorrow's problem. So, see you then.
So at this point I decided that it's just going to be easiest to pull the tires off this axle. I needed to take them off anyway once we got it over into the position to pull apart. So this worked out just fine. And this way I just eliminate that whole axle from the equation, and it should allow us to get this truck moving. Most of the lug nuts were slathered in anti-seize, but on this side there still seemed to be a few that were rusted up so bad I needed to use the torch on them.
Okay, let's see if she starts. There we go. So that's the last ride for this old girl. Cab will go on the new truck, but the engine will not. I guess the transmission will be too. But yeah, last trip for this whole combination. Next step is to get this cab ready to come off.